Beautiful humans, hey, it's Jay, and welcome back to my little space on the internet. Today I'm really excited to share with you my brand new bullet journal setup for the second half of 2021. Suki, my current bullet journal, is literally on its last pages, so the timing to set this up is perfect. And without further ado, meet my new bullet journal. This is the Archer & Olive A5 rose gold dot grid notebook with 160 GSM paper. I will tell you its name shortly, but let's hop right into planning. As usual, I have sketched out everything in advance and prepped some of the spreads beforehand just to save on time because I was doing this at 6 a.m. in the morning before I started work. The first thing that I'm setting up is my key, and I'm doing this on a flip out on the front cover of the journal to save space, but also so that I can always have access to it. You'll see in the spreads that I took a lot of inspiration from my previous setup of Suki because I'm thinking of them as sibling notebooks and wanted to have tie-ins between the two. I'm still using the gray, pink, and rose gold color palette from my previous setup, but this time around I'm adding this burgundy, purpley red Tombow marker to match with the color of the notebook. My key consists of my bullet journal key, which is based on the original key from Ryder Carroll, but I also have as part of my key my drink tracker color coding system, as well as my highlight system for my monthly calendars. This is basically the same as last time. The only difference now is that I added boba or bubble tea as one of my drink colors because it kind of felt like cheating if I kept it in the tea section. On the other side, which is the name page, I did some stuff beforehand, like gluing in this little BT21 cutout and adding a business card holder for, my business cards. I just wrote my name in this section and that completed the spread for now. Afterwards, I did go back and added a little poem and graphic to that blank space on the back of the key, and then added some cherry blossom stickers to this side just because I felt like it was missing some color. Before I forget, all the items I showed today will be mentioned down below in the description box, as well as a coupon code from Archer & Olive because I am lucky enough to be an affiliate of theirs. Here we have my vellum title page because I will never get tired of adding a vellum title page. Our first official page is my bullet journal's name page, and as you can see, I've decided to name my bullet journal for the second half of 2021 Yona. I like to name my Bujos after characters that I really relate to or inspire me, and so the name Yona is from the show Yona of the Dawn, which is an anime that I really like and would highly recommend. The red of this notebook reminded me of her hair, and I thought it matched well with Suki being the name of my first one because Suki is the moon and Yona is the dawn. And to quote BTS, the dawn rises after the darkness of the night, so I thought it would fit. Using that same vellum, I did the hello my name is and then added a sticker of the character that I ordered off Redbubble last year. Afterwards, I added in the words, the girl standing in the blush of the dawn beside the character because that shows up in the TV show all the time. And I hope that you beautiful humans love Yona as much as I do. Next, we have my index page, which I kept pretty simple. I just did a T-chart to track my collections and the page spreads. And just like last time, I added some rose gold tape to the side so that I could always see the page. The vellum I tapped in beforehand, so I don't have a video of it, but if you are interested to see how I glue in or tape in, to be more correct, vellum pages into my bullet journal, then please let me know and I can make a YouTube short or a TikTok about it. But just like last time, I made the graphic in Canva, printed it out on vellum paper, and then painted over it with my rose gold paint to give it that extra shine and transparency. I just really love vellum title pages. The next spread is my grid spacing spread, and this is kind of a mandatory and necessary bullet journal spread. This was made popular by the Bujo queen herself, Miss Amanda Rachel Lee, and it is very, very helpful. I was actually surprised by how much I reference this. Here I just divide the page into my most common splits when I'm setting up bullet journals, and that is halves, thirds, and quarters, both with and without spaces. I also got to break in my latest Sakura jelly roll in this lovely burgundy color that matched really well with this theme. But that is basically it for the grid spacing. You don't have to put every single split down there, or I've seen people do it as a flip out, but do what's best for you. I really like having it on the left side of the page and as a full page because it helps me visualize where I'm going to be putting things. The right side of the page is my quotes page, and I actually printed my quote this time. If you didn't know, when I'm not making YouTube videos or playing Animal Crossing, I am a graphic designer, marketing communications officer by trade, and so I can art. However, I can only do so digitally. I suck at drawing, so instead of struggling with drawing, I decided to make the graphic for my quote in Canva, printed it on the other side of vellum paper, and pasted it here. For my quote of the year, I took a poem from Morgan Harper Nicholson that reads, "And somehow, after everything, she still bloomed in the way she meant to." It matched the flower that's at the front of this notebook, the character development of the namesake of this Bujo, and it felt like it just matched me really well. If you've watched my other videos, you know that this first half of 2021 was really challenging for me. So here is to blooming through all the trials and tribulations and adversity and becoming a beautiful flower at your own speed. My next spread is my future log, and I am doing this in the exact same layout as last time, with 3 months on each side of this spread. The little chunk at the bottom from when the page doesn't split evenly, I divided into 2 sections. 1, important dates for 2022, and 2, dates to be determined. I'm also using the same transparent calendar stickers I used for my first Bujo of 2021, but a new thing that I am adding, however, is this sticker tab to highlight this page wherever I go. I referenced my future log quite a lot, and I wanted it to stand out, even with washi taped edges. I had other pages that were washi taped like that, and so I really wanted to make sure that this time around I could differentiate my future log's importance over some of my other spreads. And that is how my future log looks like. Here, this next spread is one that always brings me joy in my bullet journals, and that is my dream/vision board spread. I love these. It is like getting a little espresso shot of motivation whenever I look at it. This time around, I pre-made my collage in Canva to, one, save paper and carpal tunnel from having to cut this out, but also time, because I am really indecisive about what pieces I wanted to go where. As you can see, I tapped in a few sheets of paper to lie on my vision board as well. If you've seen my previous setups, you know that I love doing a faux Dutch door to have my goals for the year, but this time we are adding a bit more. I'm still adding the graphic of my 2021 concepts like last time, but I'm also adding my 24 before 25 bucket list that I made in April for my birthday, as well as this checklist to live the life you deserve that I got off of Pinterest. All the pictures and images I used are from my Pinterest vision board, by the way. I love how this looks, and even just like looking at it on the screen now while I'm doing this voiceover, it brings me such inspo to work hard towards set goals. And if you ever wanted me to do a video on the law of attraction or vision boarding or creating these, then please let me know. And I'm curious, do other people do vision boards as well in their bullet journal, or is it just me? I like how this looks, especially kind of looks like a little goals or motivation book for me, and I like that I gilded the edges with rose gold to just tie into the theme. And this is how the completed vision board, dream board spread looks like. My next spread is something that is directly copy and pasted from my last bullet journal, which is my goals breakdown spread. Like in Suki, this is the spread that I use to break down my 6 concepts or goals of 2021, which are health, wealth, connect, create, and learn. And I take this space and spread to really hone down on the things that I can do to better myself and my well-being, especially now for the last 6 months of 2021. This time around, I added 2 additional boxes besides my 6 concepts. The first one I added was a box called So Far, and this is to list out my accomplishments so far in the year from each of these concepts. So if I learned a new skill, that would fall into my learn category of so far. If I was smarter with my money, that would go into wealth and so far, just because I think it's important to also honor all the progress that you make. The other box that I made here was one labeled 2022 to store ideas for the goals that I'm going to have in 2022, which is kind of terrifying to say out loud because I know it is so far, but still so close. This next spread I'm working on is my fitness tracker, and it does as its namesake, tracks my fitness. Health is a priority of mine, and I've come to realize that health looks different on everybody because we all have different bodies. Like last time, I have a chart for my own body measurements and weight, as well as a quote that reads, "Reminder, be your own version of healthy." But this time I've also added a body confidence tracker to track how I feel in my body for that month, because I don't think that the scale or numbers tell the whole story. I also added these reflective questions at the bottom to ask myself at the end of the year, like what was my progress and how I feel. I think it's really important to check in with yourself because both your mental and physical health are so important, but you shouldn't have to sacrifice one for the other. It's all about balance. And that is it for my fitness tracker. Beside my fitness tracker, I have my book tracker for 2021. I made shelves with books in them, and each time I read a book, I write the name of said book on the spine, so that I wouldn't lose count of the physical books I read this year because I only track my physical books in the bullet journal. I'm trying to read physical books more often because I love ebooks with ease of use and cost, but my eye vision does not love them, and I miss holding physical copies of books. It just feels different. Anyways, oh god, that was off tangent. Anyways, to wrap the books that I've read so far in the year, I have just colored in the spines with the Tombow markers that I've been using and then outlined them in a darker gray color, because if I wanted to know the names of them, I can always check my book bullet journal, but I just needed to know the count of them. And I like how this adds a pop of color to the spread. And if you are a book lover, if you do have any books that you would like to recommend, please let me know in the comments below. The next spread is my schedule tracker, and I use this to keep track of my YouTube videos. Now, I don't have the most elaborate or detailed setup for this. I keep it very simple. What I basically do is write down the Sundays of every week until the end of the year on the side, and then write what video I publish in pen beside that day for the week. I also, on the side, will either write in pencil the idea that I have for a video for that week or what I'm planning to film that week. So if I wanted to release my plan with me for July on the week of June 27th, I would film that the week beforehand so that I have a time to edit and do it. Make sense? I don't know, to me it makes sense at least, but if you are looking for like a Kanban board or whatnot, I highly recommend Plant-Based Bride's video on that. I also added some reflective questions at the end of this spread, just asking things like, what was my favorite video of the year? How many videos did I make? How many lovely humans joined our little space on the internet? We are so close to 1K, but yet so far away, and so all the support means so much to me, so thank you again. Like last time, I'm adding 2 flip outs to this page, one for my YouTube milestones, and the other one is a new one for this bullet journal, which is a TikTok tracker because I fell down a TikTok rabbit hole. I've been doing a lot of content on there too, and if you want to check it out, it is at HEYITSJAI, and that completes my schedule tracker. Likewise with the books, if you do have any suggestions for any videos that you would like me to make, please leave them in the comments below. If it isn't obvious yet, I really like tracking things, so this next spread is made up of my monthly tracker and my period tracker. My monthly tracker is, well, my monthly tracker. I use this to track the things that I do to prep for the start of the new month, but also as a bit of a when did I last spread. So it has things like did I change my sheets this month? Did I charge my toothbrush? Did I water my cactus? Things like that. It is very simple, and I like that for me because it's easy to see what I've done or what I have not done yet when I'm prepping for a new month. There was this poem that I read once that said something along the lines of, may you celebrate the first of every month with the same motivation as New Year's Day, and that stuck with me ever since. But yes, this is my very simple but very useful to me monthly tracker. The period tracker on the right hand side of this page is something new for me and something I've never done before. I saw this from Plant-Based Bride, who is a Canadian bullet journal content creator here on YouTube, and I really loved the idea and thought this would be something good for me to track. I did it in the same format as her, as with dots that represent each day of the month and a legend for the symptoms of menstruation that I experience. I am a human who menstruates, and because of my thyroid being a funny little uncontrollable thing, sometimes it affects my period. So my plan for this is to mark the circles that represent each day of the month from June to December with a legend corresponding to a certain symptom. I'm excited to see how this works for me, and I'm hoping that it does. I have a period tracker phone. I have a period tracker app on my phone, but I'm still a paper person through and through, so this will be nice to also see when Mother Nature decides to deliver her monthly gift. But that is it for this period tracker. This next spread is one that I added for the first time in my last bullet journal, filled up the spread, and then ended up making a 2-page spread for it. So, as you can tell, I really like this spread. I did not say what that spread was. It is my skincare and beauty tracker. I know, a lot of trackers, but this spread for me is a running list of all my different skincare, hair care, and beauty products throughout the year, along with their open, empty, and expiry dates, as well as my personal notes on each of the products. When I did this last time, it was really useful to see which products were working for me, how long a product took to finish, so I knew when to reorder stuff, and it was just super helpful as I got more and more into skincare and hair care, and I would highly recommend. The footage for this 2 spreads on 1 page somehow disappeared, but this is my wish list and ideas. Last time I wished the spread was a full spread, but I wanted to spend more consciously, so I made it a half spread, and the ideas one is just a space for me to write down my ideas, and it's divided into 4 categories: videos, themes and layouts, monthly challenges, and random, so that when an idea comes to mind for me, or if I'm in a creative block, I can always look to this spread. The one you see me working on the side is probably not a common spread, but it is my cosplay checklist. If you didn't know, I do cosplay, and I use this spread to keep track of the cosplays I'm currently working on, ideas I have for cosplays, as well as the cosplays that are ready for photo shoots. With more things opening up, I'm hoping that one day I can go to a convention soon, but for now, I'll stick to cosplaying on the internet. two cosplays that I am currently working on is Asta from Black Clover and Nobara from Jujutsu Kaisen, and I hope that I can do these characters justice. I like to just stick in a picture of the character so I have a reference image for when I'm creating items for their cosplays. For this bullet journal, I made my check it out spread a full page instead of a half page like last time because a lot of you loves have been recommending me shows and games to play, so I used it up quite a bit. It's fairly simple. I have color codes at the top for if it's a movie, show, book, or something else, and we'll just write down said item in the corresponding color. If you do have anything though, if you'd like me to read or watch, please let me know because your recommendations so far have been great. The page recite is a copy and paste from Suki, which is my ideal day spread. This is in exactly the same format from last time with my ideal day at the top of the page and then my AM and PM routines at the bottom. I write these down on stickies or loose leaf paper and then just tape it into this spread because I like to revisit my ideal day on a monthly basis and edit it as part of my monthly prep to match my plans or goals for that specific month. And I've always had this idea that I should match my ideal day to my life at the time and not try to match my life to an ideal day if it's an unrealistic one for the life I'm currently living at that moment. So as you can see, I've already pre-made my AM PM routines and then did a little timesheet for my ideal day with the colors for this first setup. We are on to the last two spreads for the setup. Sorry, this is probably way longer than most setup videos, but I like to do a lot for the beginning of the year. This first spread is my year in tarot spread. I do own and read oracle cards for my family and friends and myself, and thought it would be nice to have a space to look at a overview of my monthly readings. So what I've done is on this border that I'm creating with the Burgundy, wrote the title of a year in tarot in rose gold and silver, but it doesn't show up as nice on camera. It stands out a lot more in person, but the camera isn't catching it quite well. So each of these kind of represent a card, and I have a space for my 6 monthly readings that I do, but I will also put space for a mid-year read as well as a looking ahead to 2022 read. And I'm curious to see what cards I will pull this time around. But that basically completes my year in tarot spread. I don't talk about tarot often because I know it can make some people feel uncomfy, but if you are interested on a video about tarot or my oracle card collection, then please let your girl know. And lastly, we have my year in Polaroid spread, which I also saw Amanda Rachel do in her bullet journal, but I really like it. I got for Christmas last year a hybrid Instax camera, and I've been using it quite a bit, and I really liked having a place to look back at the memories I've made in the year so far. It's pretty simple. I just have a box for each month for me to paste in my favorite memory of the month, and I just added this cutout of a camera at the bottom, as well as this graphic that I made of a Polaroid that reads, "Hold on to the memories," as an ode to one of my favorite Taylor Swift lyrics from New Year's Day. This was one that I kind of did on the fly, and it's actually one of my favorite spreads in Yona so far, and I'm excited to see what memories I'll be making. But that completes the setup of my new bullet journal for the later half of 2021. So it's time to meet a completed Yona. And yes, the Kita motivational flip out stayed. It's great to look at Kita for motivation. But this is how Yona looks like at the end. I really love how my setup this year, well, for the second half of the year looks like, and the colors, and it just feels really like me, and I'm excited to use this. My July plan with me will be coming shortly. I still have to firm up on what theme I want to do. But as always, I hope that you loves enjoyed this video. I apologize that it was a lot longer than most of my other bullet journal plan with me's, but I did have a lot to set up. If you haven't set up your bullet journal for the second half of 2021, I hope that you got some inspiration or some ideas from my setup of Yona, and as always, I really hope that you loves are doing well, staying safe, taking care of yourself, and just living your best lives. Once again, thank you for all the support on this channel. It would mean the world to me if you hit that thumbs up button or decided to subscribe to this channel. We nerd out basically about everything and anything on here, and it's just a fun place to be. If you made it this far in the video, comment a heart so I know that you've watched it through. But as always, I love you to the moon and back, and I will see you in my next one. Take care always. Jay.